Okay, good morning, dear students. Let us continue with our chapter Measurement of Matter. Now, in this chapter, we will be studying about chemical symbols of elements. Now, here you can see, can you tell? So, that is deleted. All the three questions you can delete. Now, let us go to the paragraph. Dalton used certain signs to represent the elements. For example, a circle and a dot in between for hydrogen, then a circle and C written inside it for copper. Today, we use the symbols determined by IUPAC, that is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. These are official names and symbols and are used all over the world. The current method of choosing chemical symbols is based on the method invented by Berzelius. According to this method, the symbol of an element is either the first letter or the first and second or another specific letter in its name. Of the two letters, the first is a capital letter and the second is small. Now, let us see what are the molecules of elements and compounds. Atoms of some elements such as helium, neon have independent existence. It means that these elements are in a monoatomic molecular state. Sometimes two or more atoms of an element combine to form molecules of that element. Such elements are in a polyatomic molecular state. Poly means many. For example, the elements oxygen, nitrogen are in a diatomic state. Di means two. Molecular state as O2, N2 respectively. When atoms of different elements combine with each other, the molecules of compounds are formed. In other words, compounds are formed by chemical attraction between different elements. Now you can see here, make a list and discuss. Just cancel that. Yes. Now, let us learn the concept of molecular mass and the concept of mole. Molecular mass. So first 2-3 lines here are the definition. Molecular mass of a substance is a sum of the atomic masses of all the atoms in a single molecule of that substance. Like atomic mass, molecular mass is also expressed in the unit Dalton, that's U. How do we deduce the molecular mass of water? So let us see this table given below there. So molecule H2O, that is water, constituent elements hydrogen and oxygen, atomic mass 1 and 16, number of atoms in the molecule hydrogen 2 atoms, oxygen 1, atomic mass into number of atoms is hydrogen is 1 into 2 and oxygen is 16 into 1. So the mass of the constituents is 2 plus 16, that is molecular mass is equal to 18. Molecular mass is equal to sum of the constituent atomic masses. So molecular mass of water is equal to atomic mass of hydrogen into 2 plus atomic mass of oxygen into 1. So I hope you have understood this. Now let us see in this slide certain symbols were given by Dalton in the olden days. So you can just see how it was depicted by Dalton in 1808 AD. Okay, so now let us continue with the next page number 51, the next slide. Now here use your brain power. In that, following are the atomic masses of few elements in Dalton's and the molecular mass of molecular formulae of some compounds. Deduce the molecular masses of those compounds. Atomic masses: hydrogen 1, oxygen 16, nitrogen 14, carbon 12, potassium 13, sulfur 32, calcium 40, sodium 23, chlorine 35.5, magnesium 24, aluminium 27. Now the molecular formulae are given: NaCl sodium chloride, MgCl2 magnesium chloride, KNO3 potassium nitrate, H2O2 is hydrogen peroxide, AlCl3 is aluminium chloride, calcium hydroxide CaOH twice, MgO is 40, H2SO4 that is sulfuric acid is You have to find out. The nitric acid is HNO3 and NaOH is sodium hydroxide. Now here I will tell you the molecular formulae of NaCl we have found out. So here in this table you can see that NaCl, the elements are sodium and chlorine. So atomic mass of sodium is 23, chlorine is 35.5. Number of atoms are 1 each. Atomic mass into number of atoms of sodium is 23 into 1 and chlorine is 35.5 into 1. So mass of the constituents is 23 plus 35.5. Okay, so we add up this. Now molecular mass is equal to sum of the constituent atomic masses. Molecular mass of NaCl is equal to atomic mass of sodium into 1 plus atomic mass of chlorine into 1. So 23 into 1 plus 35.5 into 1, that is 58.5 Daltons. Molecular mass of NaCl is 58.5. Now in the next this you can see, try this, that is fully cancelled. Think about it is also cancelled, and can you tell also all the three questions are cancelled. Can you tell all the three questions? Now when elements and compounds take part in a chemical reactions, it is their atoms and molecules that react with each other, and therefore it is necessary to know the numbers of their atoms and molecules. However, while carrying out a chemical reaction, it is convenient to measure out quantities that can be handled instead of counting the numbers of atoms and molecules. So, the concept of mole is useful for this purpose. Now, we'll see the definition of mole. A mole is that quantity of a substance whose mass in grams is equal in magnitude to the molecular mass of that substance in Daltons. So, please mark that. Thus, the molecular mass of oxygen is 32 Daltons. Therefore, 32 grams of oxygen is 1 mole of oxygen. The molecular mass of water is 18 Daltons. Therefore, 18 grams of water make 1 mole of water. Now, 1 mole of a compound is the mass of that substance in grams equal in magnitude to its molecular mass. The SI unit is mole. Number of moles of a substance N is equal to mass of a substance in grams upon molecular mass of the substance. Now let us go to the next page. Let us learn the concept of Avogadro's number. The number of molecules in 1 mole of any substance is constant. The Italian scientist Avogadro did pioneering work in this context. Therefore, this number is called Avogadro's number and is denoted by the symbol Na. Later, scientists demonstrated experimentally that Avogadro's numbers is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. A mole of any substance stands for 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Just as a dozen has 12 items, a century has 100, or a gross has 144, a mole means 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. For example, a mole of water, that is 18 grams of water, contains 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules of water. How many molecules are there in 66 grams of CO2? Method. Molecular mass of CO2 is 44. So the number of moles in the given CO2, that is N, is equal to mass of CO2 in grams upon molecular mass of CO2. That is 66 upon 44. That is equal to 6 upon 4. That is equal to 3 upon 2. That is equal to 1.5. So N is equal to 1.5 mole. So 1 mole of CO2 contains 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Therefore, 1.5 mole CO2 contains 1.5 into 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. That is equal to 9.033 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Now in the picture you can see that 1 dozen bananas are 12 bananas. 144 notebooks make 1 gross of notebooks. 1 mole of water in the cylinder given there is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Then on the weighing machine you can see 1 mole of common salt is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Now here, now you can see always remember is given down there, that is deleted. So you can cancel the this part over here. Always remember. Now, let us use the brain power. How many molecules of water are there in 36 grams of water, and how many molecules of H2SO4 are there in 49 grams of sample? So let's go to the next slide. So here you can see that molecular mass of water is atomic mass of hydrogen into 2 plus atomic mass of oxygen into 1. So molecular mass of H2O is equal to 1 into 2 plus 16 into 1, that is equal to 18. According to the formula, number of moles in the given water, that is N, is equal to mass of water in grams upon molecular mass of water, that is equal to 36 upon 18, that is equal to 2. So N is equal to 2 moles. Therefore, 1 mole of water contains 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Therefore, 2 moles of water contains 2 into 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. That is equal to 12.044 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. That is 36 grams of water contains 12.044 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Now, let us see about sulfuric acid. Now, in sulfuric acid, the molecular mass of H2SO4 is equal to atomic mass of hydrogen into 2 plus atomic mass of sulfur into 1 plus atomic mass of oxygen into 4. Molecular mass of H2SO4 is equal to 1 into 2 plus 32 into 1 plus 16 into 4. So 2 plus 32 plus 64, that is equal to 98. According to the formula, number of moles in the given H2SO4, that is N, is equal to mass of H2SO4 in grams upon molecular mass of H2SO4. That is equal to 49 upon 98, that is 1 upon 2, that is equal to 0.5. N is equal to 0.5 mole. 1 mole of H2SO4 contains 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. So 0.5 moles will contain 0.5 into 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. That is equal to 3.011 into 10 raised to 23 molecules are present in 49 grams of H2SO4. Now we will see 2 videos, and I hope you have understood the various concepts.
When we go to a supermarket, we always buy things using standard values. In other words, we always take 1 kilogram of rice or 200 milliliters of fruit juice. Fruits are sometimes counted using the unit dozen. 1 dozen means 12 of something. These are terms used in everyday life. But what if I want to measure something in terms of the number of tiny particles present in it? Let me explain this in detail. Looking at this pure gold, can you tell me how many gold atoms are present in this? Or wait, looking at this glass of water, can you tell me how many water molecules are present in it? You will probably say that it's practically impossible to calculate the number of atoms or molecules in these examples. But astonishingly, chemistry has an answer to this as well. That brings us to the concept of mole. What does it mean? It's very easy. 1 mole of anything has 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 atoms or molecules or particles present inside it. Isn't this number huge? If I have to write down the zeros, this is how big the number will look. 1 mole of anything has these many particles. Now let's say we take a substance which has 3 times the number of particles here. Then we say that this is 3 moles of this substance. And what if we have a substance which has 8 times the number of particles here? That's correct. It will be 8 moles of that substance. That's the basic concept of a mole of any substance. Let's see if you've understood the concept well. Now here's 1 mole of this pure gold. How many atoms does it have? Yes, as it's 1 mole, it will have 6.02 times 10 raised to 23 atoms in it. Similarly, 1 mole of pure water will have 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 water molecules inside it. So is this how we define 1 mole? 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 atoms or molecules or particles? Well, that's the simplest way to understand it. That means if we take, for example, a bag containing 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 hydrogen atoms, then can we say it's 1 mole of hydrogen? Yes, that's right. Similarly, 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 molecules of any compound like copper sulfate is 1 mole of copper sulfate. Simple, isn't it? Wait, we have just understood the concept of mole in simple words. But we are yet to take a look at the scientific definition of 1 mole. And what's this number we refer to? Does it have a special name? Watch our next video to know more. In the previous part of the video, we saw that 1 mole of something is nothing but 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 particles. It could be atoms or molecules or anything. If I give you 1 mole of pure gold, then what will the number of atoms in it be equal to? Yes, these many atoms. And 1 mole of pure water will have these many molecules. But what is the scientific definition of a mole? Scientifically, 1 mole is defined as the amount of substance that contains the same number of atoms, molecules, or particles as there are atoms in 12 grams of carbon, 12. Yes, even I didn't understand it when we read it for the first time. Let me break it down for you. Let me remove this definition from the screen. What we have on the screen now is 12 grams of carbon, 12. Carbon 12 is one of the isotopes of carbon. Now 12 grams of carbon 12 is what was taken as a standard. What's so special about this? Can you guess the number of atoms here? Yes, it's 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 atoms. Now that you've understood this, let me repeat the definition for you. 1 mole is defined as the amount of substance that contains the same number of atoms, molecules, or particles as there are atoms in 12 grams of carbon 12. Did you understand the definition now? It consists of 2 simple parts actually. It tells us that this part is equal to this part. The number of particles in 1 mole of a substance is equal to the number of atoms in 12 grams of carbon 12. That's it. That's all the definition tells us. Many people get confused when it comes to the concept of mole. Let's take many more examples to be absolutely sure. How about taking the same example of pure gold and pure water? When we say 1 mole of pure gold, then according to our definition, it will have the same number of atoms as the number of atoms in 12 grams of carbon 12. That means 1 mole of gold will have 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 atoms of gold. Similarly, water will also have the same number of molecules as the number of atoms in 12 grams of carbon 12. That means it will have 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 molecules of water. Remember, the definition uses carbon 12 as a standard. It is used to compare the number of atoms or molecules or particles present in the substance. But what's the mystery behind this number? A scientist named Lorenzo Romano Amedeo Carlo Avogadro came up with this concept. I know the name is long, so we will address him as Avogadro. So the number 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 is called as the Avogadro's number. It is just a number used to represent quantities. It's similar to how we use the word pair for 2 or the word dozen to represent 12. Similarly, Avogadro's number is the term used to represent 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 number of any entity. So can we go to a shop and say, I want Avogadro's number of chocolates? Of course we can. The only problem is that the shop won't really have those many chocolates, and neither will we be able to carry them back home. So getting back to the concept, Avogadro's number is just another number used to represent quantities. But the number is so huge that using this in daily life is not practically possible and advisable. Then why does the number exist if we do not use it? Yes, the number is not commonly used in daily life by us. However, it comes to the rescue of chemists that work with atoms, molecules, electrons, and many such small entities. That is the reason why it's used to calculate 1 mole of any substance. Let's talk about one last concept. We know that 1 mole of carbon-12 is 12 grams of carbon-12. That's because 12 grams of carbon-12 has the Avogadro's number of atoms. Now let me ask you a question. If you answer this correctly, it means you've understood the concept of mole. What will be the mass of 1 mole of pure gold? Will it be 12 grams? The answer is no. It will not be 12 grams. Note that in both cases, the number of atoms is the same, but the mass of an atom of gold is different from the mass of an atom of carbon-12. Hence, the mass of 1 mole of gold will definitely be different from the mass of 1 mole of carbon-12. So 1 mole of gold weighs around 196.97 grams. That is because mass of gold atom is different from the mass of carbon-12 atoms. Similarly, 1 mole of water will have the Avogadro's number of molecules, but it will not weigh 12 grams. So if we take 1 mole of water and find its mass, we get the answer as 18.015 grams of water. And I'm sure you know why. For the sake of comparison, if we take 1 mole of gold, 1 mole of silver, and 1 mole of copper, then all of them will have the same number of atoms in them. That is 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 atoms. This number is the Avogadro's number. However, the mass of each one will be different. That's because the mass of individual atoms that make up these elements is different.